What's going on, guys? Kenney Conwell here, and I'm recording this video for entrepreneurs, online entrepreneurs specifically. Now, again, I'm an entrepreneur myself. I have a successful online business, and I've been growing it for quite a while. And I've seen people get their online merchant account set up, and they just want to start making sales, and that's cool. You know, you can do Stripe, you can do PayPal, you can do Square. Really, it's just the ease of payment and the ease of getting your customer to do business with you. Now, one of the things you may not realize is that if you do Stripe or PayPal, those type of merchant accounts don't do underwriting up front, which means they'll let you start transacting business, but if you don't communicate to them up front or try to build some type of rapport, if you get a lot of sales too fast, real fast, they'll hold your funds. And they'll be like, hey, look, we're going to hold your funds for 60 days or 90 days because they don't know, because they didn't underwrite they didn't underwrite you as a business or an individual if you are going to be fraudulent or not. So the first thing you want to do is, if you're looking to scale really, really fast, make sure you reach out to the Stripe support, and then also read into the terms and conditions if you're using Stripe to identify, is your industry banned or not. A lot of people, that's another reason. A lot of people will get into Stripe and then they'll hold their funds for 6 months or a year because you're in a restricted industry. Doesn't mean you can't do business in that industry. You just need to let Stripe know that, hey, look, this is the industry I'm in, and just get it okay, which is a small little thing of scaling fast. But the other thing is that make sure you communicate to them that, hey, look, I'm getting ready to do all these sales. The other flip side of this is, if you do a traditional merchant account with a bank or a merchant provider, they're going to go through underwriting, and then they may hold a portion of your funds based off your credit report. And if they hold a portion of your funds, they might say, hey, look, if you make $50,000 a month, we're going to hold back 5%, or we're going to hold back 10%. And the reason why they're doing that is for refunds and Stripe disputes. So refunds and chargebacks. So really what I'm communicating, so I'm making this clear, is when you're looking to scale your digital product, make sure you've got all your things buttoned up. And then also, on the flip side of that, when you communicate to Stripe or PayPal or whoever your merchant provider is, so that way you give them the volume, go ahead and attempt to go through some type of manual review process with them, so they won't hold up your funds. And then the other part of this is put together some type of standard operating procedure, SOP for short, that handles refunds. Now, when you start getting into I use Stripe, so when you start getting into the weeds of refunds and also chargebacks, for whatever reason, your beautiful customers are going to say, hey, look, they got your product. And if you know, as a business owner, you put together a really good product, really good system, there are going to be people, either A, who try to scam you and say they didn't receive the product, which is whatever it is, or B, they're going to say that they felt like there should have been a refund. So on that checkout page, make sure you have the terms of conditions for doing business with you. If you don't do refunds, just put down you don't have refunds. So that way it's clear when you do the Stripe dispute to say, look, I told the customer up front we had no refunds. We made it really, really clear. And that will help you potentially win the dispute. But if you don't have that kind of stuff in place, and you start getting Stripe disputes and you start doing a lot of sales real fast, all of that kind of holds up your funds, and at the end of the day, messes up your cash flow. So all of this, when you're brand new as an entrepreneur, especially an online entrepreneur, cash flow is the name of the game. And the way you create your cash flow is through a merchant account, unless you're doing ACH payments, which is a whole nother process, which most people's not going to be able to do, right? So do these due diligence on the front end, and then make sure you're good to go when you start taking payments.